Well, Clint, I'd like to purchase a property that you have for sale on San Juan Avenue. My friend Eric Myers has been calling you about this property, and he's been reporting back to me with all kinds of information about the property. So I've been looking at it. I've been studying the data. I'm a data guy. I love looking at data on these kinds of properties. I like looking at the cars that are coming and going and the traffic. I love you got two driveways on this one. You can go right and left. There's a turning lane in the middle without a big median. I'd like to see where those cars are going. I can see where they're shopping. You can see how much money they're spending there. I can see how much time they're spending there. The data is kind of eerie how much we can track these people, but it's also very useful for me to work on and create these personas of where these people should be shopping. And so they should be shopping at this brand and that brand that are brands I like to work with. And I would like to go talk to them and say, look at this property. This used to be a Crystal Burger. Last time I had a Crystal Burger, we turned it into a T-Mobile. But this time the building's gone. And it could be your shop. We could build your shop here. We could make your shop here. And I could build it for you. I can finance it. I can pay for it. I can make your brand. You can start paying rent later on someday when you open for business. Just make it really easy for them to go build their shop here, make their shop happen here. I'm a vacant land guy. I've done vacant land deals all across the country. And when I started getting into high traffic retail vacant land and trying to sell that stuff, I hit a brick wall. That stuff's really hard to sell compared to a lot of other vacant properties. It really takes a tenant to be able to sell that property in any good fashion. Sure, every now and then you sell one, but to sell them with consistency and prices that make sense, you really need a tenant. And it wasn't for a while that I started finding tenants for those kinds of properties that I could really get them gone and get them sold and turn them liquid, turn them into cash. And so learning how to find tenants for those properties has become an art and a passion of mine, figuring out the ones that I had and now going forward, taking on other properties and figuring them out and making them happen. I love doing it. And there's not as many people that like to do that. And so I think together with your property and my skills to go find tenants for these properties, we can add the value, put them together, and everybody wins. So this offer that I'm sending you on this property is a little bit creative. Eric was talking to you saying that there might be some more room for creativity on this offer. This offer has a timeline in the beginning that gives me some time to go talk to the tenants. Not a lot of time, not like doing permits and everything, just a little bit of time to talk to the tenants, make sure that the tenants really want to go here. The ones that I think fit here, I'll hammer it to them and drive it home, and I'll go pitch it to a whole bunch of others as well and see who's coming through with the best numbers, the best offers, and run with them and tell you, okay, I got one. This is who it's going to be. This is what the plan is. Here's the idea. Here's what we're going to do. And when that happens, the deposit goes hard. You get the deposit above and beyond the purchase price. That's not attributable to the purchase price. I pay the commission. So Clint, you're the broker on here. You want your commission. I'm sure you do. I totally get it. So me as a buyer, I'll pay that commission up front. And when I find a tenant, we go to the master lease phase. It says in the contract, it'll be on the timeline. There's a timeline in there, so you can see the timeline, but it's pretty short order compared to lots of other deals. And so that commission is above and beyond the purchase price, not attributable to purchase price. So these are extra ads that seller gets. And then I'll pay the taxes. While this is happening, I'll pay the taxes. When the master lease phase starts on out from there, I'll pay the taxes on the property. So it gets rid of the carrying costs of the property. I'll work with the tenants to make it their brand, their color, their shape, their whatever it might be, and make that happen on your property. I'd like to keep the improvements on the property. It allows me to structure the deals with the tenants who like to depreciate the improvements on the property. And so you would be owning the land, but not the improvements in this case. And we take it from there. There's a timeline where you start getting rent. So the landowners start getting rent when the shop opens for business or the later of the dates that are in the contract. And feel free to ask me questions about this. It's spelled out in the contract, make it easy, but there's some different working pieces there that feel free to ask questions. I'm about to explain and walk you through it. So take a look at that offer and see if you're interested. See if your client's interested. My name is Luke Smith. My friend's Eric Myers. I'm going to copy him on this communications here as well. You can look me up all over the internet. I've got videos going back to the long ways about all kinds of different properties and deals I've worked on. You can look them up in the public records and you're like, yep, there's that one and that one. The smaller dollar properties I've traded thousands of. You can look up on my website, ruralvacantland.com. You can look me up in YouTube and TikTok and other social media outlets. You can see all kinds of comments from real world people that say, Luke, Thank you for this. Thanks for buying my property. Thanks for selling this property to me. Thanks for working on this deal and that deal. Thanks for financing this. Thanks for the deal over here. Thanks for partnering with me on this one and that one. And hundreds of those kinds of comments all over social media. There's always a couple negative ones in there too. If you dig deep enough, you'll find a couple like less than 1/10 of 1% of complainers because it's a real business, right? That's what happens. I try to keep everyone happy, but that's how it is. So take a look at that. And just feel free to ask questions. I'm here. My contact information's there. If you like the data approach to these kinds of properties that I'm talking about, that I'm passionate about, feel free to check out the link that's in the description of this video. It'll take you back to another little website that's got a lot of like-minded people talking about high-traffic retail properties. We compare notes, we compare tenants, we compare shop back and forth. We learn from each other. It's free. You can jump in there. You can go to some of my live sessions. There's a calendar. You can look them up and you can see the different presentations and things. And you can join and see what the community is about if you're into that. If you're interested in financing these kinds of properties, feel free to reach out to me at my website, ruralvacantland.com. It's got my contact information. You can reach out to me there as well. I love those calls. So like maybe I can hand off some properties that are already fixed up and going, and you can collect the rent on them forever out into the future kinds of properties. I'd like to hand those off so I can recapitalize to make more offers like this and go work on more properties. I think everybody wins. So feel free to reach out to me for that as well. Thanks for watching. Again, Luke Smith, ruralvacantland.com. See you in the next one. Bye.